Okay, welcome back my fans, welcome back my supporters, welcome back my students. Alinato Mkwenzi once again for another tutorial here. So today we are going to look at the computer components. It is not the first time we have talked about it in the introduction, but also we are going to look at these components in details here. So don't forget to subscribe, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our videos. Okay, like our videos. I will come you back, and as usual, COVID-19 is still existing. Avoid touching your hands, your nose, and your mouse. Keep a distance of 4 meters, 4 meters, 4 meters, and also stay at home. Stay safe. Wash your hands and make sure you clean. Wear a mask if possible. So let's start today our lecture with the computer components. So we're saying a computer functions on 3 major system components. Okay, so there are 3 major components that a computer works on or operates on. Okay. So one is the hardware, the software, and the humanware. Okay, the humanware. Okay, some guys would ask themselves, what is humanware? But also is part of the system that helps the computer to function. Okay, those components that help the computer to function. So we're saying hardware and software exists together to make up the actual computer. The hardware components adds in the human factor in order to bring the whole computer into a functional and productive existence. So the computer system to work, it needs those 3 components, but the hardware and the software brings together, try to brings or to add something on human, so that the human can the humanware can perform given tasks. Okay, so here is a computer. Remember, this is a system. The hardware is these are physical components, these physical gadgets: the monitor, the keyboard, the mouse, and the hardware. But what is displayed on the screen, this person is using software. There is software on the system, on the hardware. But these together helps the user or the humanware to perform tasks. Okay? So that is mainly. Now, the computer system, we start with defining it. What do you think a computer system is? So we're saying is a combination of hardware, software, user, and data. Okay, remember we said humanware. So the hardware, the software, the user, and the data defines a computer system. We looked at the system some time back in some other tutorials. So the software itself is a general term for the various kinds of programs used to operate computers and related devices. So a software is a program. For it helps this hardware to perform tasks. Okay, so we use the hardware to perform tasks using the softwares also. Okay, so for them they are just programs that are used to operate computers and related devices, iPads, tablets, smartphones, and others. They use software also. So a user is simply you. A user is the person working with a computer or a network server, service. Okay, so that is a user. A user is majorly you, the person sitting in front of the computer. You're the person operating the computer. Remember, some time back we said a computer cannot perform tasks by itself when we are talking about the characteristics of the computer. So we said it follows human instructions. That means a user sits on a computer. Okay, so a process for it is an instance of a computer program that is being executed. So a process is that kind of action that happens when a computer is processing, or the computer program is processing to give out information or to give out results. It contains the program code and its current activity. So what that program is doing there and then, when the user clicks on a program, it is processed. It goes through a process and it displays the activity that it's supposed to do. Right? So there are two main categories of softwares that we are going to look at in this lecture. One is the system software. We shall also look at the application software, the two main categories of softwares. The system software is a type of software used by the computer system to accomplish or undertake a task. So the system software is that system or that software category or type used by the computer system. So a computer uses the system, for example, the operating system. So the system software. So it helps the computer to perform or to do some tasks. So system software is a type of computer program that is designed to run on a computer's hardware and application program. So we shall see later what the application program is. So it is mainly designed to run on the computer hardware. Okay, so what it does is actually it controls the internal function of the computer. Then also it controls it also controls other devices connected on the computer. For example, the peripherals. Okay, that is the system software. But also we said we have the application software. The application software is this type of software, is that type of software used by you, the user, used by people to accomplish or to perform their tasks. So remember, the system software is used by the computer itself. But the application software is used by us, or you, the person sitting in front of the computer, the person working with the computer. Some common kinds of application software, we have Office packages, Microsoft Office Word, Office Excel, PowerPoint, info, like that. Okay, all those are application software. We have Adobe Suite or Suite, and many more application software, provided that software is being used by the user to perform tasks. So we said the example of the operating system, like the operating system, the interface of your computer on the screen, it is the operating system that is used by the computer itself. So the difference between the two, the system software is used by the computer, while the application software is used by you, the user. Okay, so that takes us to computer hardware. We have looked at two categories of software, but now let's look at the hardware. So according to study.com, normally where I get my information, computer hardware is the collection of physical parts or components of a computer system. The other time we looked at the introduction to computers, where we looked at a system. It was a collection of given number of hardware components. Okay, or different physical parts of the computer that we could could touch and see. Okay, so it is that kind of collection, right? There are many parts that work together to make a computer work. Okay, so computer hardware is what you can physically touch, right? So if something is physical, like this phone, look at this phone, this is a physical phone, I can physically touch it and see. But if I click on it like this, if I click on it, here it has what we are calling the system software, the operating system. But if I continue pressing on it, sorry, I think I can remove the, can unlock the phone, So there are some apps, okay, sorry. So it has some software on it, the application software, the apps, okay, some of the applications. So this is a physical component and that is a hardware, right? So the collection of those parts, tangible parts, the physical parts, we're calling it hardware. Okay? So ICT equipments used in commercial organizations. One, we have information systems. We have control systems, communication systems, and many more. Okay? So the information system, we're saying for managing data and information. For example, telephone banking, e-banking or electronic banking. So those are information systems that are used in a given organization. For example, the information systems, we have given an example. Then the control systems, these are mainly used to control, for example, server systems, ATM machine in your bank, okay? KCB Bank, Centenary Bank, when you go there, there is an ATM machine. The GPS locator or tracking system, it tracks the location of different areas, and right? So that is a control system. Another equipment used in the in commercial organization is the communication system, transport of data from one point to another. For example, radios, computers, televisions, and many others. These are the three main equipments used in the commercial organization. Okay. Hardware and software on a commercial perspective. Let's look at these for those who like business a lot. So we have servers, we have storage equipment, we have wireless and mobility, okay, network equipment and security, right? So those are the hardware and software together that form when we look at them in a commercial perspective, right? For example, here we have a server monitoring tool or tools and softwares. So these are servers, network servers. So on these servers there is storage of different information, there is a lot of, so it is a combination of hardware and software together. So let's look at the hardware on a commercial perspective itself. We are looking at the networking and the wireless and mobility. So when we get back, guys, we shall start from this. Let's meet in the next story. We talk about hardware on a commercial perspective, that we are going to look at networking and wireless and mobility. Okay, So let's meet guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you guys.